salary advance. Get a convenient and quick short-term loan payable in 3 months at an affordable rate. Get the support you need when you need it and keep your story going. Call 5950 for more details. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
For in-depth news coverage from across Zambia, local and national news, business, politics and sports, this is the Sun FM News, brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
The news.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Sun FM Radio and TV's news desk to present the news. My name is Imelda Chikwati. The headlines. Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane has unveiled the 2026 national budget, proposing an expenditure of 253.1 billion kwacha, signaling the final fiscal blueprint of the New Dawn government's term in office. Zambia's push to empower small and medium enterprises is delivering transformative results, with over 103,000 individuals supported to build business capacity and compete in dynamic markets. Zambia and China have signed 3 landmark agreements aimed at strengthening legal cooperation in the fight against cross-border crime, denying safe havens to offenders, and accelerating the recovery of illicit assets. Zambia Under-20 women's national team coach Charity Ntala says her squad aims to match the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualification record of the Under-17 and the senior women's national teams.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
Zambia's push to empower small and medium enterprises (SMEs) is delivering transformative results, with over 103,000 individuals supported to build business capacity and compete in dynamic markets. Finance Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane said the initiatives have reached 9,800 micro-enterprises, helping them formalize operations and unlock new opportunities. Under various empowerment schemes, more than 83,000 beneficiaries have been recorded, reflecting the government's commitment to inclusive economic growth. Among the standout programs is the Zambia Credit Scheme, which has enabled 19,000 SMEs to access financing. Dr. Msokotwane said the credit access has allowed businesses to expand, invest in new technologies, and create jobs, contributing to the broader national development agenda.
A total of more than 19,000 small and medium enterprises had benefited from the Zambia Credit Guarantee Scheme. Madam Speaker, we are not only empowering our citizens economically, but also building the capacity of the local businesses to compete. On information and communication technology, Madam Speaker.
He added that the initiative forms part of a wider strategy to strengthen the entrepreneurial ecosystem, reduce poverty, and foster innovation. On education, the New Dawn government has announced sweeping reforms aimed at improving learning conditions and expanding access. As part of its inclusive education drive, the school feeding program will now reach 4.6 million learners, ensuring children receive nutritious meals to support academic performance and well-being. In a major infrastructure boost, 1.6 million desks will be constructed for schools nationwide, with 2% of contracts awarded to local suppliers to stimulate domestic enterprise. Dr. Msokotwane said the initiative addresses the long-standing shortage of classroom furniture, and is expected to enhance the learning environment for millions of pupils. He also revealed that many high schools abandoned for over a decade are now being revived, while new secondary schools are under construction to meet growing demand.
I informed this House that there had been so many high schools, Madam Speaker, that were abandoned for 10 years without completion. So many that were abandoned all over the country. So last year, as we continue to address this problem of abandoned high schools, last year I informed this House that 317 secondary schools were under construction across the country. I'm happy to report that. Madam Speaker, to improve infrastructure at our universities and transform the learning environment, government will complete the construction of hostel blocks at the Copperbelt University and the University of Zambia in 2026.
To support this expansion, government will recruit an additional 2,000 teachers, adding to the 42,000 hired earlier this year, a move expected to significantly reduce pupil-to-teacher ratio and improve education quality. Zambia and Hong Kong Special Administrative Region (ABSA) of the People's Republic of China have signed 3 landmark agreements aimed at strengthening legal cooperation in the fight against cross-border crime, denying safe havens to offenders, and accelerating the recovery of illicit assets. The signing ceremony, held at the Central Government Offices in Hong Kong, was officiated by Hong Kong's Secretary for Security, Tang Ping-kung, and Zambia's Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwembo. The agreements mark the culmination of extensive negotiations led by Zambia's Attorney General, Mulilo Kabesha, and Director of Public Prosecutions, Gilbert Piri. The National Prosecution Authority, NPA, was represented by Chief Administrator Cassandra Soko. In his remarks, Secretary Tang hailed the agreements as a significant step forward in international legal cooperation, while Mr. Mwembu echoed the sentiment, describing the agreements as a powerful testament to shared commitment to justice, security, and the rule of law. He emphasized the agency of cross-border collaboration, noting that in an increasingly interconnected world, criminality knows no borders. The 3 agreements signed include Mutual Legal Assistance (MLA) agreement, which will facilitate the exchange of evidence, identification of suspects, and the freezing and confiscation of criminal proceeds. The other is the Surrender of Fugitive Offenders (SFO) agreement, which establishes clear extradition protocols to prevent jurisdictional loopholes and ensure accountability. And the third is the Transfer of Sentenced Persons (TSP) agreement, which enables convicted individuals to serve sentences closer to their families, promoting rehabilitation and reintegration. For Zambia's National Prosecution Authority, the framework serves as a strategic force multiplier, equipping prosecutors with robust international legal tools to dismantle the financial networks of organized crime. The agreements incorporate essential international safeguards and are expected to foster a safer environment for citizens while enhancing legal predictability for economic growth. Defense Minister Ambrose Lufuma has hailed the successful conclusion of Exercise Blue Lungwasho 2025 as a landmark demonstration of regional preparedness and humanitarian response under the Southern African Development Community (SADC). Speaking at the closing ceremony in Livingston, Mr. Lufuma said the joint drills proved that SADC forces can operate cohesively under a unified command to respond to crises, deliver emergency aid, and protect vulnerable communities across the region. He stressed the importance of the humanitarian component, noting that food relief sites were identified through drought and vulnerability assessments. Mr. Lufuma added that the exercise highlighted collective capacity in emergency response, counter-terrorism, disaster management, and support operations.
Our security is indivisible. When one nation is secure, the region is secure. When one state is overwhelmed and all of you consequences. As we close exercise Group Watch 2025, let us carry forward the lessons we have learned, trust we have built, and the partnerships we have with nature and spirit. Let us ensure that the spirit of cooperation demonstrated here continues to guide us as we work together towards a more peaceful, more stable, and more prosperous Southern Africa.
Zambia Air Force Commander Lieutenant General Oscar Nyoni described the exercise as a flexible and adaptive, with the plans reviewed and adjusted in response to emerging challenges. He said key lessons were drawn on how best regional forces can respond to complex humanitarian crises.
First of all, sir, I'm proud to announce that the objectives set out prior to the commencement of the exercise have been successfully achieved. Through the employment of air assets provided by participating SADC members, humanitarian aid in the form of 450 metric tons of relief made from the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit under the Office of the Vice President was airlifted to Livingstone, Mamba, Namwala, Itenjeji, Nazongwe, Gwembe, Lolezi, and Mwandi.
SADC Standing Aviation Committee Chairperson Major General Shavani Mani said the drills went beyond the training by strengthening command, communication, and tactical coordination. He added that the exercise demonstrated the region's unity and readiness to safeguard its skies while delivering humanitarian aid when needed.
My first and foremost profound duty is to congratulate and thank the Republic of Zambia and the exercise commander, Lieutenant General Oscar Nyoni, for the exceptional hospitality and successful execution of exercise Guru Workshop 2025. You have set a benchmark for excellence, truly embodying the cooperative spirit of our SADC community. Sir, the success of exercise Guru Workshop 2025 is a testament to a vision much larger than any single nation in the SADC region. It is in line with vision of SADC Standing Aviation Committee, which is to promote peace, stability, and prosperity in the SADC region through military aviation cooperation.
The Ministry of Education has emphasized the pivotal role of information and communication technologies, ICTs, in Zambia's ongoing education reforms, describing digital tools as essential to modernizing assessment and improving learning outcomes. Speaking at the close of the 50th International Association for Education Assessment IAEA conference in Livingstone, Permanent Secretary for Administration Oriana Muneko said the theme, Assessment Agility, Navigating Rapid Educational Transformation, was timely as Zambia rolls out a new curriculum and finalizes a modern assessment framework. She explained that technology-driven assessment would allow Zambia to move beyond testing what learners know toward evaluating what they can do in practical, real-world contexts. Ms. Muneko noted that such agility is vital in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. She commended the IAEA leadership at the Examinations Council of Zambia for steering the conference, adding that the insights gained will directly inform the country's education strategy.
This gathering has been defined by the timely theme, assessment agility, navigating rapid educational transformations. This theme is particularly significant for Zambia as we are actively navigating our own educational transformation. This conference has proved an invaluable platform for us as a nation and for the global education community to exchange ideas and explore new frontiers in education assessment and to collectively share innovative ways to build assessments that measure not just what learners know, but what they can do.
Meanwhile, IAEA President Dr. Mafu Rakometse urged education leaders across Africa and beyond to rethink assessment models to meet the demands of the 21st century. Dr. Rakometse said the conference had offered refreshing and stimulating ideas that strengthened collaboration. He stressed the need for systems that go beyond content recall and instead measure real-world knowledge with a focus on critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. He also highlighted the newly developed Continental Assessment Framework for Africa as a tool to address data and resource gaps, while cautioning that implementation must consider local contexts and infrastructure limitations.
Acknowledging that the demands of the 21st century require that we move beyond basic content recall and that real-world knowledge and competencies cannot be validly measured in traditional ways. We are called upon to rethink our assessment modes and models, while at the same time prioritizing skills such as critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. These skills are essential for individuals to adapt and thrive in a complex, rapidly changing world, both personally and professionally.
Government has proposed to spend 253.1 billion kwacha in the 2026 national budget, marking the final fiscal plan of the new Dawn administration's term. Presenting the 2026 national budget under the theme Consolidating Economic and Social Gains Towards a Prosperous, Resilient and Equitable Zambia, Minister of Finance and National Planning Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane said the budget reflects a disciplined and reform-driven approach aimed at economic transformation, fiscal consolidation and inclusive development. Dr. Msokotwane said 206.5 billion kwacha, representing 81.6% of the total budget or 22.3% of GDP, will be sourced from domestic revenues. Grants from cooperating partners are expected to contribute 12.1 billion kwacha, accounting for 4.8% of the budget. The remaining 34.5 billion kwacha, equivalent to 3.7% of GDP, will be financed through a mix of domestic and external borrowing. Domestic borrowing is projected at 21.6 billion kwacha, 2.3% of GDP, while external borrowing will amount to 12.9 billion kwacha, 1.4% of GDP. Dr. Msokotwane also announced an increase in the Constituency Development Fund CDF, rising from 36.1 million kwacha in 2025 to 40 million kwacha in 2026, a move aimed at strengthening local level development initiatives. Meanwhile, stakeholders have described the 2026 national budget as progressive and inspiring, highlighting the increased allocation to the Constituency Development Fund CDF as a clear sign of the government's commitment to its development agenda. Information and Media Minister Cornelius Mwetwa said the budget demonstrates the government's intention to bring development closer to the people. He noted that members of parliament are becoming more relevant in their constituencies with the increased CDF, allowing more visible and impactful projects. Meanwhile, former presidential press aide Amos Chanda added that the CDF is a special purpose vehicle for decentralization, enabling the breakdown of bureaucratic barriers and accelerating local development. While the Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises welcomed the pronouncement of zero-rating taxes on the importation of motor vehicle parts, describing it as a measure that will spur investment and growth in the SME sector.
For level, I propose to increase the allocation to the CDF to 6.2 billion kwacha. This, Madam Speaker, translates per constituency from 36.1 million to 40 million.
Zambia's 2026 national budget has drawn praise from stakeholders across the political and economic spectrum who have described it as progressive, people-centered and a bold step towards self-reliance. The increment in the Constituency Development Fund CDF stands out as a key highlight, seen as a strategic lever for decentralization and local empowerment. Information and Media Minister Cornelius Mwetwa said that the government's enhanced allocation to the CDF affirms its intention to take development closer to the people.
Right across the political divide for more CDF, because they've seen that now members of parliament are becoming more relevant to their electorates, and I can see that with this CDF we do expect also more MPs to go out there to interact with their people more in terms of developmental projects. So that was a very important takeaway.
Mr. Mwetwa added that the 2026 budget proposes that 81.6% of funding will come from domestic resources, a significant policy shift in a country that has historically depended on foreign aid.
This was a budget that has responded to the needs of the moment, namely consolidating the economic and social gains that this far have already been.
Former presidential press aide Amos Chanda described the expanded CDF as a special purpose vehicle for decentralization, arguing that it breaks down entrenched bureaucracies that have long stalled development.
That he concerns himself with those things that transform lives at the grassroots. The allocation massively in CDF is a game changer as well, because CDF is going into bursaries, it's going into schools.
In the business sector, the Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises expressed optimism over tax incentives in the budget, particularly the zero-rating of taxes on the importation of motor vehicle parts. He said the move will reduce operational costs for SMEs and attract new investment into the automotive value chain.
They've set apart some funds to support the artisanal miners, which is very good. So we'll see the SME sector within the mining sector.
Thomas Mwale, reporting for Sun FM TV News in Lusaka.
This is the news on Sun FM Radio and TV. We return with the sports news just after this break.
Win namamuli 1 million na ABSA. Play your cards right, Muntu Andy, and you could win big. Simply tap or swipe any of your ABSA cards 5 times in a month, and you could be one of 10 lucky winners to take home a cheap 10-pin in monthly prizes or walk away with a grand prize of 250,000 kwacha. Chaliroku, and you cannot afford to not get lucky. Use your ABSA card to enter the draw. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
Zambia Under-20 women's national team coach Charity Ntala says her squad aims to match the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualification record of the Under-17 and senior women's national teams. Speaking during a pre-match press conference ahead of Saturday's second leg clash against Burundi, Ntala said her players are inspired by the achievements of their fellow national teams. She acknowledged that while the pressure is immense, her team is determined to secure its debut FIFA World Cup appearance. Meanwhile, Tala revealed that the team is likely to adjust its tactics for tomorrow's game, drawing lessons from the first encounter. She added that Zambia would not underestimate their opponents and remains focused on completing the double. And team captain Zangose Zulu echoed her coach's confidence, declaring the squad is ready for battle. The skipper said the team has moved on from the away win and is focused on securing another victory. The match will be played at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola, with the winner over 2 legs advancing to the penultimate stage where Uganda awaits. In other sports news, Burundi say they are well prepared to face Zambia in Saturday's second leg FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier in Ndola. Zambia holds a 2-1 advantage from the first leg, with a place in the third round at stake when the two sides meet tomorrow. Speaking at a pre-match press conference, Gishikizo Jean-Pierre, technical director for all junior Burundi teams, said that after assessing Zambia's quality, his side has prepared thoroughly for the challenge ahead. Both the teams are vying for a spot in the third round and chasing their maiden FIFA World Cup appearances. The winner over 2 legs will face Uganda in the next round, with one more stage remaining to conclude the qualification process. That's a wrap on the news. As we go, the headlines once again. Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbekom Sokotwane has unveiled the 2026 national budget, proposing an expenditure of 253.1 billion kwacha, signaling the final fiscal blueprint of the new Dawn government's term in office. Zambia's push to empower small and medium enterprises, SMEs, is delivering transformative results, with over 103,000 individuals supported to build business capacity and compete in dynamic markets. Zambia and China have signed 3 landmark agreements aimed at strengthening legal cooperation in the fight against cross-border crime, denying safe havens to offenders, and accelerating the recovery of illicit assets. Zambia Under-20 women's national team coach Charity Ntala says the squad aims to match the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualification record of the Under-17 and senior women's national teams. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Imelda Shwati. Bye for now.
Sun FM.
A comprehensive coverage of local and national news, business, politics, and sports. The Sun FM News was brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
Sometimes life happens, and we all need that extra something to sort things